So I'm joined for a bit of a history lesson with the Secretary of Shenington Kart Racing Club, Graham Smith. Graham, let's talk about the venue first, one of the most historic venues based on the site of the former RAF Edge Hill, and then we came karting here.
Yeah, that's right, David. And karting started here in 1960. A local man bought a dozen karts. It was massive then. I think one of the early meetings, they had over 5,000 spectators here. And then in 2000, what we did was we did an anniversary meeting, and that was the birth of the Superprix. We didn't do it 2001, and then we did 2002, and then that led to the British Kart Racing Club, the British Historic Kart Racing Club being formed. And then every year after that, we got historic karts along as well. So Shenington's near Banbury in Oxfordshire, and it's a very popular site, one of the top circuits in the UK.
So the club as a whole, obviously you've mentioned the Superprix started in 2000, but let's go back to the sort of the start of the club. We've just been having a chat off air, and somebody just said that they remember you from when they raced. Their son's now racing. It's this historic club. How long have you been involved?
I started karting in 1987. I was originally a rally man starting in 1966. So I found something to do for my two boys, which was obviously karting, and we all got licenses. They were a lot quicker than me, so I stopped, and they carried on, raced for a couple of decades. I started again, mainly in gearbox. And in 1989, I joined the committee, and I was made secretary of the club. So Sonia Game, who's our competition secretary, she was made competition secretary the same year, and we've been doing it ever since.
And you know, the club as a whole, this event, let's talk about the Superprix. It just seems to be going from strength to strength.
Yeah, this is one of the best ever. And of course the weather's been kind this year. Last couple of years we've had a bit of showers, but this year it's so sunny, it's so nice. We've got a massive 330 competitors entered this year. And as well as that, we've got 60 historic karts, and they do demonstrations every day, lunchtime and evening. And I've got a historic kart myself, which I'll go out on. So we've obviously got a massive entry, and we've been very, very lucky with the sponsors this year. I've got something like £14,000 worth of prizes to give out to the podium people on Sunday evening.
I think as well with the historics, I've noticed when they went out, the next class, everybody, the cart was on the ground really quickly. They were all at the gate watching history unfold in front of them, really.
I know, because the historics will go back to, 1958, 1959 in the karts. The movement, probably you've had already this, but the movement started with some US airmen came over and were based here, and they brought some of the early karts across from the USA. And then it just exploded. Karting, as I say, in the 60s, it was absolutely massive. There was like 100 companies making karts, and then it dipped a little bit, but it's very, very healthy at the moment, and it's certainly not as expensive as some people make out. If you just do one club meeting here a month, then it'll be fine. You know, it's not that dear. It only gets expensive when you start traveling the world to do karting internationally.
Circuit-wise here, I think probably 80% of your circuit footprint is on an old runway, I think, with the exception maybe of the Wilkins hairpin that offshoots, but certainly up towards Cafe Corner, and the main run is down what was an old former runway. If you look on sort of maps, you'll notice that if you carry on from Cafe Corner over the hill, the runway restarts again from the gliding club next door. But the club as a whole, in the last year or so, the investment that's gone in with new barriers and certain things around the circuit, things are really starting to progress nicely here at Shenington.
Yes, we're lucky that we've been able to plough everything back. We're not a commercial circuit, so we're a circuit run for non-profit. Everything goes back into the circuit. This year we've got new grandstands, we've put in new FIA homologated light panels, we've done a lot of tarmacking in the pits, we're resurfaced part of the track last year. We're doing it a bit next month as well. So yes, we plough it all back in, and a lot of visiting championships want to come here as well. So that all contributes to the income.
New barriers as well, I've noticed that some more delivered in the week, some more at the start of the year when I first came with a travelling championship, just as you were doing a lot of paddock work. And I think I mentioned something on socials that week that basically, while we were on track, that there was people here working tirelessly prior to the season starting and the club season starting to improve the paddock for everybody as well.
Yes, you're quite right. And we've been putting foam barriers in where Motorsport UK has told us is the best positions for them. And they look nicer, don't they? But there's nothing much to beat the stacked tyres for crashes. But the foam barriers do look a lot nicer. So yeah, we've been putting a lot of them in this last 2 or 3 weeks.
Bit easier for the marshals as well to drag back into position when required.
Yeah, well, hopefully they don't move. So that's the plan.
It'd be nice if nobody crashed into them at all, because they're nice and white at the moment. We want to keep them that way.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll see that when we do the live stream. We'll see the new foam barriers. So the Superprix runs like we do time qualifying. The only time we do time qualifying are club championships, because we like the 3 heat system where you do run a front, back and a middle heat. But on this event we do time qualifying, and then that sets the position for the 2 heats, and then they'll get a final on Sunday afternoon that sets the podium.
Some big grids, of course, in both junior and senior Rotax, in junior X30, senior X30, and some tickets to iArmy Warrior finals available as well for the iArmy runners.
Yes, we were very, very lucky with our sponsors, both from John Mills Engineering that run the iArmy class in the country, and also in Rotax with JAG that run the Rotax class in this country. So they've both been very, very generous to us. And as you say, we've got the world final tickets for the iArmy classes to give out, including our economy class, which is Formula Libre. And people reckon you can do that class at around about £220, £240 a weekend. That's all it costs. Everything's got to be second hand, and they will get a ticket to do the master section over 30-year-olds for the world finals.
And from a club perspective as well, some drivers out there trying to either defend or take that very important E-plate.
Yes, the winners in the iArmy class, the 210s and the Mighty Bambino all are competing for the winner of the class for the English Championship. So it's a Motorsport UK Championship that we've been honoured to be given, and it gives the driver the E-plate to use for another year, for a year. So that is very, very important to them this weekend.
Graham, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about the history of the club, but particularly as well where the club is going in terms of new barriers and the investment. It's been wonderful to see the development of Shenington Kart Club in the last 2 years in terms of both on and off the track, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here once again for the Superprix.
Thank you very much, David. Thank you.
Great, thank you.